So we have an audience score for Thor: Love and Thunder now. It's a little lower than I thought it would be. I really thought it would be in the high 90s, and that could still change. I think it's going to end up there. This movie's still going to make a ton of money, despite the reviews that I've seen, which I likely will agree with, to be honest, because this film just looks kind of meh. That's my opinion on it. I'm glad, though, that the one thing that I have heard is that Thor, by that I mean Chris Hemsworth, the actual Thor, not fake Thor, because it's a name, not a mantle, which I've never liked that. I mean, remember when Captain America picked up the hammer and used it? He wasn't Thor America. He was still Captain America. Just because you get the powers doesn't mean you're Thor. It's not a mantle. It's his name. Always thought that was stupid. They call him Odin's son because he's a son of Odin. I'll just call me that now. No, your name is Thor. But apparently, he's the star, and I think that that's good. I'm a little tired of people being outshined in their own movies. Whether or not it's good, I don't know. I haven't seen it. But audiences seem to like it. It's at 85%. I think it's going to go higher. I think it'll end up in the 90s. The crazy thing, though, is that the film is getting close to being rotten. Or is that rotten? It's kind of strange what's going on here. So I think if this hits 60%, it'll get a tomato splat and it'll become rotten, which would be crazy to see happen. This puts this in a really low ranking order when it comes to Marvel movies, how could you say this is worse than Captain Marvel? That movie is awful. That movie is awful. Thor 2 is an awful movie. So I guess one of them is already a Thor movie. I don't know. Haven't seen it. People that I like that have reviewed it have said it's awful, that it feels like it's just content, which honestly is what Multiverse of Madness felt like to me. But this movie has one thing that none of those other things have had besides Thor 2, and that's Chris Hemsworth. And they kind of had a little bit of a winning formula with Ragnarok. And from what I hear, this is more Ragnarok. So this could be a big one. I don't know. It's tough to judge these Marvel movies. It's going to miss out on some markets, though. It will not be in Saudi Arabia because apparently, and I quote from the director, Taika Waititi, this is the gayest Marvel movie ever. And Saudi Arabia, well, they don't allow such things. This is why Multiverse of Madness didn't appear over there. And this is why Eternals didn't appear over there. Don't blame anybody for banning Eternals, though. It's a piece of shit. It's an awful movie. I really don't think this will matter, to be honest. If anything, I have to give credit to Marvel for sticking to their guns and convictions and not editing things out and changing things for more cash in another country, which they've done before. They did it with Rise of Skywalker, where there was a moment where two women kiss. It was a blink and you'll miss it moment. They edited that right out in countries that they wanted to make money on, but they're at least not doing it now. I have more respect for them for sticking to their convictions and not releasing it with edits. So, how is this movie going to do? I don't know. I think it'll make $1 billion. Some people are saying around 700, 800 million. It's still a ton of money. Even if it makes 800 million, I'm pretty sure it's like making some money at that point. I don't know. It's tough to judge these Marvel movies. Chris Hemsworth's in this. Women love him. They love his big arms, and I guess you get to see his butt in it. So this is one of the reasons why Aquaman did good. Aquaman, not a very great movie, made a ton of money. and a lot of that has to do. So this movie could do good just from a female audience, and they're not going to see empowered Natalie Portman. They're going to see Chris Hemsworth, which is something that Marvel is going to learn in the future if they shift all these movies to female characters like it's looking like they want to do. They're going to learn women show up for these big buff dudes. So we'll see what happens. Like they seem to think they want this. They're going to go to the theater in droves to see empowered women in Avengers, and that's not what they want. They liked America's ass with Chris Evans, and they like Chris Hemsworth's ass as well. So, what the future of Marvel MCU movies is, I think it's looking more and more like a disaster, but only time will tell. Speaking of Marvel Comics, remember this Miles Morales Thor thing, which was a huge thing for a minute because it's awful. Literally, it's full of just like negative stereotypes like this. Like this is Asgard, which he calls his hood. For some reason, he gets a hoodie instead of actual armor, which doesn't make any sense at all. Because, well, why would he be different than any of the other Thors that all have armor? But he's got a hoodie and sneakers and a fade. And he talks in rhymes. And for some reason, they put shoes on wire here and graffiti everywhere. I don't know. Kind of taken not so well with the black community. They did not like this. And it seems that Marvel has learned nothing from it because they just kept doing it, hoping that no one would notice. They have a Marvel team up. So this event was a bunch of what if comics, like what if Miles Morales was Wolverine? What if Miles Morales was Captain America? What if Miles Morales was Thor? What if Miles Morales was the Incredible Hulk? And then they all team up at the end to fight variations of his Uncle Aaron. I mean, it's a what if comic. Who cares? I don't really think it's a big deal. But what I do think is a big deal is this awful dialogue that they use. Like, look at this. This is from the new issue. The very next issue, from what I understand, after the Thor one. Thor me. Don't really have time to explain, but I'm going to need you to zap me with as much power as that thing can put out. You bugging. No mortal could withstand the might of my hammer. Just do it. But this shit gonna hurt. What's funny is the regular Miles Morales, yeah, they changed his costume to this. Don't really know why. What was wrong with the other one? The other one was pretty cool, in my opinion. But they replaced it with this weird version of Kane's Scarlet Spider's costume. I don't remember Miles Morales ever talking like this. But for some reason, his dialogue and mannerisms have changed in this book. Just another example of how inconsistent the writers are there. But I mean, look at it. Here's more, too. Like, he's never talked, and I've read a lot of Miles. I've read most of the original Ultimate run that he was in when Brian Michael Bendis was writing it. I actually liked that run. Not a bad run at all. That's when he really was his own Spider-Man in his own universe. He never talked like this, saying, I'm kicking it in the multiverse, and all this, like, slang talk that he uses. But now he sounds just like the other Thor guy. I don't, that's inconsistent. But of course, this is a company that thinks people want this. Keep in mind, Iceman is 20-something years old. But he looks like this now. Only because it's the Pride book. I don't quite get that. But Marvel gonna Marvel. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube, they'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, make sure to follow me over on Twitch. I do watch parties, play video games over there. They're always fun. Follow me over there and come hang out. Also, make sure you subscribe to YellowFlash, my other channel. There's a link to that in the description as well. I do a lot of live streams over there that I don't do on this channel. Usually smaller and a little bit more personal. So make sure you follow me over there and sign up.